Hey guys! I decided I wanted to make another video all about Instagram and basically how to keep a theme, how to make your Instagram stories aesthetically pleasing. My last video did really well, so I thought I would go ahead and do a part 2 and just share more of my tips and tricks about Instagram, because that first video was only just a little bit of everything about Instagram. So I'm gonna move a little bit to the side because I'm gonna put the screen what's on my phone next to me. Oh, also I wanted to mention that my hair is curled from last night and has not fallen, and I'm really happy about it because my hair can never hold a curl. So the fact that it's curly right now, or it's kind of like beach waves, it's very natural curls. The fact that it even looks like this right now, I'm shook because it never holds the curl. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of mention when it came to having a whole Instagram theme, I'm gonna show you guys where you can find all of these presets. If you just literally go on Etsy.com and then you look up Lightroom mobile presets, you have to choose the mobile one so the filters can go on your mobile Lightroom app. So if you look through Etsy, they have so many presets, literally so many. Sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just go buy random ones, and then that's how I end up finding my favorite filters. For example, this one looks really pretty, and so I just kind of look through it. The only bad thing about buying them through Etsy is that once you buy them, you can't return them. So usually you have to be willing to spend $5, because sometimes the presets you buy you won't end up liking, and that's just kind of the reality of it. A lot of my Lightroom presets I have in Lightroom because I bought them and I don't even like them. I don't even use them. My Instagram theme mainly consists of one filter, one preset, and it's just me playing with the colors of it. So let me show you an example of that, because I feel that's the most crucial aspect of having an Instagram theme is your colors. So when you take your having an Instagram theme is so complicated. When you go and take pictures, you kind of have to look at the surroundings, or where you're gonna go take your picture, to see if it'll match your theme. So usually what I do for my Instagram theme, my Instagram pictures, so that the filter can grab onto the picture, I can never take a picture behind a blank wall, behind a blank white wall, or even if the wall is marble or it has a pattern. You can't really take a picture with no objects behind you, because then the filter has nothing to grab onto. And so when you put it on your Instagram preview, then it won't match because there's so much blank space. So basically, in order to have your preset flow evenly through all your pictures, there has to be substance in your images. So I'm gonna show you guys an example as to what I'm even talking about, because I know a lot of people are gonna be what does she mean by no blank space objects? So basically, when it comes to editing your picture, for example, I'm gonna edit a picture that I took last night, this one for example. So I'll add it to my Lightroom, and then I'll go to presets, and I'll add my happiness preset. This is what I was trying to explain in the last video for you guys, that my presets are named by me. I make the names when I buy them. I name them whatever the hell I want. So this happiness preset, I have no idea what it's called on Etsy. I'm being 100% honest. I don't know, because I bought in so many presets that there's so many that I'm I don't know which one happiness belongs to, the link. So basically, if you guys look at the picture, there's palm trees behind me, there's substance behind the picture, there's stuff going on, so that the filter, when you apply it, it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's all over the picture, if that makes sense. So I like how this looks. Maybe I'll fix, my Instagram theme isn't really blue, so what I'll do is that I'll go on mix, and then I'll get this little color capturing tool, and then I'll go on saturation, and I'll just click directly on the blue, and then I'll bring it all the way down, and it kind of if I brought it up, it would make the pool really neon. If I brought it down, it fades the pool water, because I don't like having too much blues. My Instagram theme mainly consists of browns and greens and stuff like that, warm tones. This is how I would edit a picture to post automatically to Instagram. And then, for example, something with a blank wall would be a picture like this. There's nothing for the filter to grab onto, so that it will match evenly like throughout my feed. So let me show you an example. Let me apply a filter on it. Whatever, let's say I like how that looks, even though I don't really, because, oops. What? So let's say this is how I want to edit this picture. But if you look at both of these pictures, like the first picture, there's like trees behind me, there's like the fencing, there's like stuff going on in the picture, and then the one of me in the bathroom, like it's just empty space. Like there's nothing for that filter to grab onto to make everything flow. So if I were to add this on the app that I see like all the pictures that I'm about to post, if I post them like side by side, you guys are gonna tell, like if I, without looking at the one of me in the bathroom, you can already tell that the one with the palm trees like matches well, because the filter grabbed onto everything in the back, and now it's matching with all the other backgrounds in my feed. And so if we grid shift, you see how even though it still matches because the colors work, if I were to add like another picture or like bring this one here, you see how that one's kind of just like awkwardly in the middle, and like this, there's nothing around me, like it's empty, there's nothing around me, so the filter is, there's no objects for the filter to grab onto. And I'm hoping that this makes some kind of sense, because I feel like this is one of the main things of keeping an Instagram theme. The hardest thing for me when I was starting mine was learning how to like take proper pictures, because like when you start off, like you can take pictures anywhere, like you just don't really pay attention to those things. And so when you start an Instagram theme, like that's one of the things that you have to be paying attention to, is like where you're taking your pictures, because where you're taking your pictures will depend on if they're gonna flow on your theme or not. There are so many pictures that I used to take. Now usually when I take pictures I post them, but before, when I was starting out, like I would take pictures and they wouldn't match, and it would frustrate me so much, and I didn't understand why. And it was just because simply I like didn't know how to take pictures. If you guys looked at my camera roll, like I have so many pictures, and it's like I have 500 from like one spot, just because like you want to get like a candid picture, because those are always like better. But that's basically like one tip on like how to keep your Instagram theme. One of the most important things is knowing your color scheme and knowing how to take your pictures. Like those blank empty pictures usually don't work, and that's what's gonna throw off your theme. Oh my god, I was never screen recording. So I just filmed like that whole beginning part, and I realized that I was not screen recording my phone, so I'm gonna have to do that literally later. But that's besides the point. I'm just shook at myself, because of course that would happen to me. Another little thing I wanted to share that I thought was really cool when I found out that this app like did it. It's an app called Unum. I shouted them out in my last video, because honestly I think they're one of the best apps for this. Like I've tried so many apps, and this one just hands down does it every time. So basically, something that I found out that this app does recently, because this is a new feature, it's this thing called Color Map, and it's right next to the import button. And so you click it, and the pictures that you upload have like an overall color, and so color mapping shows you the overall color. And the reason I'm saying this might be more helpful for visual people is because usually you'll be able to move around the pictures that all have the same color, if that makes sense. And that'll help you visualize more of like the theme you want to go for. So for example, here, the picture that I have, the New York one, matches best obviously with the one of me in New York in Grand Central Station. But I didn't want to post so many like New York pictures, so as long as they're all within like the brownish color scheme, then that means that it's working. And as long as they're all like within the same like color scheme, like browns and stuff like that, and like warm tones over cool tones, then I think you'll be fine. That feature is just to show you like the overall color of the picture, so you can group together the ones that are the same color. Obviously you're not going to group together, you're not going to put a blue picture next to a brown picture, if you're catching my drift. I shared this on my last video when it came to like Instagram stories and stuff like that, and I'm gonna be saying it again. But Pinterest is literally your best friend. Like Pinterest has the answer to everything. Like if you don't know how to pose, Pinterest. If you don't know how to edit a little story thing, Pinterest. If you don't know where to go somewhere when you're going on a trip, Pinterest. Literally Pinterest is the answer to like all of my problems. And when I go on trips, I literally make a Pinterest board full of like everything about where I'm going. What I usually do with Pinterest, I'm gonna show you guys my Pinterest board for like Instagram story aesthetics. I'm gonna mention this again in this video in case you haven't seen the last Instagram video, and like I've had people tell me that it actually helped them. So if you literally just go on Pinterest and search Instagram story ideas, it shows you like countless amounts of like edits and like stuff people do that you could use to like edit your pictures. And so like I'll save them onto my Pinterest board. So I'm gonna scroll through until I see one that I'm like, oh my god, I want to recreate that. Like this is really cute for when you're traveling. So I'm gonna save that in my Instagram story aesthetics board. But you guys get the point. Like there's so many different ways to edit your Instagram stories, and like this is so cute too. And the answers are all on Pinterest. And the same goes for finding out how to pose, or like finding out like basically where to even go. You literally search New York aesthetic, then you see like all of the cute places of New York. So this, for example, is Dumbo, Grand Central Station. And there's so many different ways to pose because a bunch of people will post like on Pinterest, and like all of their pictures are there. Like Dumbo, the Flatiron Building, the Brooklyn Bridge. Like this picture is so cute. And a lot of my pictures came from Pinterest. Like the Met steps. You guys, the answers are all on Pinterest. Like I shouldn't even have to say it because I thought it would be obvious, but it's not. Nobody knows about Pinterest. I feel like I want to do like a quick little like brief mini tutorial on like Lightroom and like basically Photoshop features, because like a lot of Photoshop features are on Lightroom, like highlights, shadows, working with the colors. Like that's all Photoshop, and I kind of learned that in high school. And so I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to even work that. And a lot of keeping an Instagram theme is knowing how to like move those features around, because a simple preset might give you like your overall color, but then what if the preset makes you too white, or what if the preset makes you look orange, or like things like that you can fix using like little features that are on Lightroom. This is the original picture, and then look at what happens when I apply my happiness filter. It makes the orange look way too saturated, and like all the colors are just like a lot. And if you notice, like if I were to put this in my Instagram theme, it would never match. So a lot of the times like your presets are like your best friends, because that's like what your overall theme or like your pictures are gonna look like. But what happens in the case where your preset makes you actually look disgusting, you gotta learn how to fix that. So how I would fix this, first of all, you should know what your Instagram theme colors are, which is why I'm saying colors are so important. Because already now I can start unsaturating the blue and bringing down that yellow. I do that by going on the color tab. Again, a lot of it is just messing with the colors. Like highlights and shadows are just like a bonus feature, but the colors are what's gonna make or break your theme. I'll already unsaturate the walls a little bit, and then sometimes if you bring down the color of the yellow, it's gonna bring down the color of your skin tone. I know that Lightroom has like a membership you can pay, and then that way you can do like selective sections. So I could probably do this a lot easier if I had the membership, but we gotta work with what we got here. So sometimes if that color mapping thing doesn't work, I'll usually go on the orange tool, and then I'll like up the saturation but up the luminance a little, so the jerseys are not so neon, but we're also not so white either. And honestly, it's like a lot of like playing around with the colors, like moving it around and seeing what works better. Like if you see the overall picture in the back, you see how the cement is like green, but then when I change the hue, it turns more white. If I up the saturation of the yellow, look at the jerseys. So maybe I can decrease the saturation in the yellow, and then that way our skin tones don't get like switched. I'm gonna show you guys like what highlights and shadows normally do, because those are like my main two things. If I want the picture to look a little blacker, you use the contrast and you just bring it up. You see how I bring it down, it makes it look like really faded. The contrast like sharpens the blacks. Highlights, I don't know how to explain this, but basically when you bring it up, it makes your like makes it look more white, and then when you bring it down, it's more dark. Like, so see how everything turns white, and then if I bring down the highlights, it goes like kind of black. But in this case, for this picture, it did nothing. Then moving on to shadows, that'll also, it's kind of like contrast. Like your shadows are gonna make your picture be a little bit darker. So if I bring it down, it makes the shadows a little darker, and it makes the picture look more, I don't know how you would call it, but like sharp, if that makes sense. And so the same goes with messing with the whites and the blacks in the picture. Like if you see, if I'm bringing it up, the whites are way more like noticeable, and then bringing it down, there's like no white. This is why I say that knowing how to like edit pictures with highlights, shadows, contrast, all of that stuff, that's so important when it comes to making a theme. Because how do you know how to fix your picture when the preset looks wonky if you don't know how to mess with the contrast or the highlights or the shadows? So I'm hoping that this taught you a little bit more as to like my tips and tricks to Instagram. Honestly, like I might do a Instagram like Q&A where you guys on Instagram send me questions and then I'll answer them, because I don't know like questions you guys might have, like maybe something's confusing, maybe you guys want to know something else that I'm maybe not explaining. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna like leave it right there. It's literally Mariana P. Faria. So that's where I'm just gonna be asking you guys. I'm gonna be putting like the little question thing on my Instagram story, and then just have you guys like send in questions basically about Instagram. If you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want to see more, please like and subscribe to my channel so you guys can keep seeing what I put out. If you guys are interested in seeing that little like Instagram Q&A that I do on my Instagram story, comment below and I will do it soon. I have more videos coming out. I've like learned to like time manage, because like I wanted to make YouTube like one of my priorities. So stay tuned, more videos are coming out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys when I see you guys next. Bye.